dog, hot diggity dog, hot
It's a
dog.
brand new day. What you waiting for? Get in the damn camera. Hello?
We're backyard friends, the backyard. Nuggets. Okay. You want to do it this time? We're backyard friends, the backyard again.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to this week's episode of Ungodly Gossip featuring myself, the lovely Anya, and my lovely co-host, the most influential man that I know, Rachel Slurrz. Today, on this month's Ungodly Gossip, we will be discussing, since it is Black History Month, we will be discussing Black history, queer Black pioneers. We will be also talking about racism in the queer community and any racism we have faced as queens of color. We also will be doing a recap of the last 2 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13. And we also have a new section called Ask Anya and Rachel, where we will be answering questions that you, the fans, have sent us for this episode.
My fans, not Anya's.
You're right. You're right. I couldn't get a fan if it was hanging from the ceiling.
Well, happy Black History Month, everybody. Obviously, we are 2 very black, beautiful, bodacious,
Curvaceous.
thickalicious, bootylicious.
Twerkalicious.
Not twerkalicious. You ain't got no ass.
You're the Squidward of drag. You ate too many damn
I'm
Krabby
the
Patties.
handsome Squidward of drag. We're going to start off with Black history. There's a lot of people we can talk about. We're going to specifically talk about a couple, such as Marsha P. Johnson, Willie Ninja, and Sylvester. What do you know about Miss Marsha P. Johnson?
A legend, an icon.
Beautiful gowns.
She is the moment. What I know about Miss Marsha P. Johnson, Marsha is the mother of the gay rights movement. Marsha threw the first brick at Stonewall, according to Derek Barry. People died. People were hurt. We can have the freedoms to sit in front of this camera and, let me outshine Rachel every single time we do an Ungodly Gossip. It's because of Marsha P. Johnson. So, Marsha, we thank you.
Marsha has definitely set forth allowing us the opportunity to live freely as we can, as individuals, queer individuals, even just as black people. Just being black in general, being queer are just 2 things that set us back substantially, and regardless to everyone else, like white queers. Not to call y'all out, but to call y'all out.
My dad always used to tell me growing up, and even though it kind of sucks that you have to tell your child this, it's just like there's 3 strikes in the world. If you're anything other than cis, white, heteronormative, that's a strike. If you're black or indigenous or person of color, that's another strike. And let you be gay or anything under the queer umbrella.
Your ass is out.
Absolutely out in the fucking trash. But you know what? Just like Maya Angelou's poem, Still I Rise. Still like Rachel's pads, still they rise. We want to thank you, Marsha P. Johnson, for all of your
ma'am.
everything that you've done for us and your hard work and your sacrifice so we can sit here and talk shit behind the table with complimentary cocktails from This Is It. Who is the next icon we want to highlight this month?
We are highlighting Willie Ninja, who is known as the grandfather of Vogue. I'm going to read directly from the script that I have right here because...
plagiarism.
Exactly. Willie Ninja was a dancer, choreographer, and grandfather of Vogue, as I previously mentioned. The dance style that he helped propel to the national stage, Voguing characterized by angular body movements and exaggerated one-way poses, was introduced...
You can find that on Urban Dictionary. Introduced it.
Introduced it.
But did you introduce it?
Yes. Was introduced to the...
Okay, let me say it. Woo, I need to take over because Rachel is hooked on phonics, bitch. She can't read. She may be 23, but she reads at a 3rd grade level. Okay. Rachel is the Gabrielle Sidibe of drag. She is precious. Nobody loves you. I don't understand. I told her in episode 1, don't be coming up here fucking it up for me, bitch. So I'm going to read it since I can pronounce. So we will be highlighting Willie Ninja. If you follow Vogue or voguing or duck walking, like Vogue back in like the 80s was about actually emulating models, like hitting a pose. Anytime that you heard a click, it was a pose. And then now it's like new wave where it's about like duck walking and jump splitting and
dipping and hair flips.
Absolutely. So if you have not watched Paris is Burning, please watch Paris is Burning. If you do not, me and Rachel will knock on your door and take away your gay card.
That part.
He appeared in Madonna's 1990 hit song, Vogue. Club 96. You've never done disco or listened to disco if you do not know who Sylvester is.
Exactly. I don't know this big... Wait, what's this word?
Mononymously. Oh my God, you guys, I'm telling you, Rachel can't read. The only book she's ever read is the Junie B. Jones collection. The only reading Rachel does is on Facebook, and that's not even a real book.
It's so lame.
Okay.
And my reads ain't even that good, to be honest. I mean, I be getting them sometimes. Get them right together.
Well, can you get this paragraph together so
Probably
we can educate our audience?
So, Sylvester James Jr., known mononymously.
Sylvester James Jr.
known mononymously as Sylvester, was an American singer-songwriter primarily active in genres of disco, rhythm and blues, and soul. He was known for his flamboyant and androgynous appearance, falsetto singing voice, and hit disco singles in the late 70s.
70s.
And 80s. So, one of the songs that you should know, all of the queers, even if you ain't queer, quite honestly, you should know this song. It was
a lip sync on RuPaul's Drag Race season 8.
We gonna do this again?
And it was Bob the Drag Queen versus Derek.
Yes.
You know.
Oh, yes, it was. I forgot about that lip sync. Okay.
You know the words?
Yeah.
5, 6.
Wait, are we starting from the beginning,
I
or
don't
just
know.
go straight to the?
You know what? You just do it and I'll be your backup.
Okay. You make me feel
mighty real.
You start wrong.
Oh, child. Wrong key, wrong note. Can we get a pitch correct?
Even after these people, there's obviously people that we can mention, like Laverne Cox, who's an icon in the trans community, also black.
Rachel, since
baby.
we did name 3 icons, who would you say is like an icon for you? Somebody you look up to, somebody who exemplifies, black girl magic without being too aggressive. Or who do you want to honor for this Black History Month?
Okay. Oh, for sure. No, I would like to honor Lucy Stool. Lucy has definitely been a person in my life who has not only influenced my drag, but influenced my personal life. And I say that because as a queer black person, as a queer, I guess you say a thicker girl, I've never always been comfortable with my own body. And seeing Lucy be so comfortable with their body, be so comfortable with their persona, be so comfortable with just them in general, has inspired me to be comfortable with myself and be comfortable with who I am.
I would say somebody who I idolize and look up to that is I want to say a pioneer in the community is my auntie Tempest Heat Stratton.
Yes.
If you know Tempest Heat, Tempest has been performing for a really, really long time, has had really prestigious titles, former Miss Club Wisconsin, which is a state title here in Wisconsin. I just want to kind of give Tempest some love and some virtual hugs, because Tempest is just that auntie, but the cool ass auntie that will smoke with you and get you drunk and talk shit and feed you.
Very Lucy.
Very
Lucy
too.
too.
And Tempest is a thick girl. And anytime Tempest get up there and she twerks, she call it shaking the juice, because that's when your legs clap together.
You know who else did that? Took being a contestant to flipping that into an empire.
Who?
Trixie Mattel, now half owner of This Is a Bar.
Absolutely. Trixie really did do that, because on okay, so everybody low-key wasn't even feeling season 7 like that, because they were it's boring. I was living for it the whole time.
I was living for it.
Trixie was third out on season 7, and then they brought her back, and then she broke the curse of being brought back and then getting sent home right away.
Yep.
And then after that, just an empire. Trixie got eliminated 11th place, came back, placed 6th overall in season 7, and then started doing music, started touring, you know, and like honestly, Trixie didn't need All Stars.
Honestly, All Stars probably
needed Trixie.
Very much that. Because I think, if anything, All Stars just blew her more. Yeah. But she had already had the platform that she wanted. She had already started what she wanted to do in terms of her career and branching out, not necessarily outside of drag, but expanding her drag through other platforms.
And guess what I got on? I ain't got on no shoes, but y'all will never know. Insert my foot right here, editor.
Just puts a random foot.
If you think I'm fake, the only thing fake about me is this. Throws fake foot across the room.
I hate you. Who were you thinking in terms of like mainstream, like social media or media in general?
I would say Beyonce. Because like Beyonce, like I'm very much a fan of Beyonce to the point where I've watched every tour, every documentary. Like the Beyonce, you're not a Beyonce fan if you haven't watched the Beyonce Experience.
I think I remember from that documentary, she was saying how they told her she didn't have like not one record on like that current album that were like worthy of.
Dangerously in Love, they said that you don't have any potential #1 singles, and
she had 5.
The next topic that we will want to cover is racism in the queer community. So, Rachel, what is your personal experience with racism in the queer community?
Honestly, I would say overall, I haven't necessarily had anything as impactful. Obviously, you get the whole thing of being less booked than like your white queens, but I feel that I've been personally like fortunate enough to be one of the queens of color who, even through the pandemic, have been very like booked. Chicago has gone through this whole like complete like flip of like what drag looks like now, taking out the forces that blocked a lot of people's blessings, if you will. We're working towards a place that's more inclusive for everyone. I've been fortunate enough to not experience too many things in terms of racism, but they're still there, and like microaggressions and things of that nature are still present. Brush that shit off your shoulder and keep it pushing, because at the end of the day, if you let that stuff stop you, like all you're doing is giving the other person the power.
Absolutely, but also what we do need to normalize, especially since it is Black History Month and we're both Black, you know, people of color in the community, is that we have a complex where we've been ingrained in society to feel like we just have to keep going and we can't get help, because anytime you mention therapy to people of color or like Black people specifically, you just be
that
like, you'd be like, Mom, I'm depressed. She's like, well, you better go depress them damn dishes, bitch. Especially for like, you know, Black people especially, but people of color in general. And, you know, trans folks and GNC, gender nonconforming, friends and family, that if you need help, it is okay. And like, you shouldn't feel ashamed to go get the help that you need and the help that you deserve, because it is a tool, honestly, you know?
Yes, it is.
I wouldn't say I faced like blatant racism, like people telling me I don't like you because you're like the, you know, the N-word. Yes. Like, you know, it was never that. But also just like when it does come to drag, I've obviously, you know, growing up, I don't know if your parents told you this, but like my dad always used to tell me like, just so you know, so you don't think that it's not because you're not talented or you're not sickening or you're not worthy. You would just have to work twice as hard to receive not even half than your other counterparts for your work. And I'm gonna name drop, but I'm grateful for people like Persephone B. Diamond. Persephone is a sickening Latinx performer, drag queen, makeup artist, hairstylist, who has fought tooth and nail for the representation that we need, you know. And people always wonder, oh, well, you know, how come Latin nights are always so packed? Or how come Black Girl Magics? Why are these shows so packed and sold out? It's like, because you don't see like 6 to 7 Black girls in one space, or 6 to 7 Latinx entertainers in one space. And when you get together, it's just a celebration of culture that you don't get. And even the people who aren't of the same race as us can come in and appreciate that and see our love for it. So Dix is a sister bar of This Is It, you know, because we're promoting family and inclusivity. And
promoting dicks and tits. Absolutely.
Because you can't have one without the other. You know what's straight until you get it wet, Rachel?
What?
Spaghetti. You hungry?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, y'all, do me and Rachel look beautiful? Take a moment to gaze at our beauty. We are giving you Arthur Tease. She's giving Muffy, and I'm giving Francine.
Yes.
Ciao.
What's the teacher's name? Mr. Burns? Was that Mr. Burns?
Mr. Ratburn.
Mr.
You know
Ratburn.
Mr. Ratburn is a homosexual, right?
Yes! Oh my God! I found it out. I was like, this is the tea.
I said, this is a hate crime. How are you gonna take the rat character and make him gay? What are you trying to say?
That's all, folks.
You're just a dick pig.
Tamisha
Iman
is coming
for you.
to show
The girl.
what I
Can do. You don't trust me reading no more?
I really don't, because you don't know how to speak.
If you want it, take it. I should have said it before. Try to hide it. You could put this in the video. Fake. I can't pretend anymore. I wanna die alive, never by the hand of a broken heart. I don't wanna hear you lie tonight. Now that I've been who I really are. This is the say. I want you.
Hello?